Hey YouTube, just wanted to do a review on a 2016 Ranger XP 570 full size. This is it's the same body as the XP 900, but it has the 570 in it. I think they only did these for 2 years or so, and they moved it to a Polaris 900 now is the standard instead of the 570. Start off with the key. This is what the key looks like on these things. It's just your standard key, has a little dust cover on it for the ignition. Your hood on these is these little latches. You undo these. Underneath you have your coolant reservoir and you have your terminal block so you can run everything. It's pretty handy, this little system over here. I currently have a radio system run off of it. It's pretty nice. You just run the wires up through the tunnel and come up to the terminal, connect to the terminal, and it powers everything for you. So on this one I do have the Polaris, the flip down windshield that comes from, you can get it from the factory. It's a hard coat poly. Just undo the handles and it flips down, attaches into these, and it has a strap, retention strap that goes on top of this. So that is aftermarket. I did buy that. It was $600 Canadian for this. I replaced the stickers on the side. It used to say 570 on here. I replaced it with some Realtree Outfitter stickers. I do have the sport roof on this, which is extra. I'm pretty sure it's $400 Canadian. The mirror is aftermarket. I think that was $90 Canadian for the mirror. And the back, I have just the poly windshield. I didn't feel like going with the glass. It was too expensive. This one was like $400 Canadian for the lock and ride system for the back glass. So this down like that. And here's your box. You do have quite a bit of room in here to put different things. Gets a bit stiff after if you don't use it for a while. This handle, this whole thing tips right up. So this is the 570 engine. As far as I know, I think it's the same exhaust and as what the XP 900 is. Everything on this body should be the exact same as the XP 900 other than the actual engine itself. One thing I don't like about these engines is the oil check is like way down in there, and you have to, that yellow down there, you have to kind of play around with it and try to get it at the right angle to take it out to even check your oil, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but I'll close it up. This is your fill cap for your gas down here, your gas tank. They all have these mesh doors on them from the factory. I never bothered upgrading them. Have the seatbelt plugged in so it'll bypass the sensor to it limits you to like 15 kilometers an hour or something if you don't have the seatbelt plugged in, which is a pain if you're jumping in and out doing things. So on the interior I have this $15 wheel cover. Some people don't like it. I think it looks pretty cool and this type of thing. I have a wood theme to it. And I painted these center caps and the gear shift knob. And here you do have cup holders. I do have the radio kit that's in this as well. There's your pedals. And that one is the factory radio kit that comes with this. Under your seat, you do have some storage. So you have a storage bin there. Go around to the other side. And a storage bin under here. And you can take these storage bins out, and like under this one is your battery and stuff like that, and you can access that through there. We'll jump in here, we'll turn it on. So on this part, on the top you have your fuel gauge on the top. This will focus. Alright, you have your fuel gauge, and with this button you can change your settings. So you go through like engine hours and total kilometers and stuff like that. RPM. I usually keep it on RPM when I'm just riding. Here's the radio. There's volume. So you have different options. You can go like auxiliary and
2717. Some can just fly.
Down here you have your auxiliary port and a USB for that. I usually just connected Bluetooth capabilities for this as well. I'll start it up and I'll go around and show it. So this is what it's like started up. Got your nice LED tail lights in there, brake lights. It is pretty quiet for the 570. Like personally, for something like this, I prefer it to be quiet because I use it for hunting and things like that, where I don't want to make a whole bunch of noise. Loud pipes do sound cool, I agree, but on what I want to use it for, it doesn't really spark my interest in this. Few things, the 570, from what I know, it was very limited, the 570. Like I bought, this was the last year of the full size 570. They still have the 570 in the mid size, if I'm not mistaken, but full size got eliminated because I guess it doesn't have enough power, is what the complaint was. It does have plenty of power down low. Top speed is in around 85 kilometers an hour or so. So it's not crazy quick. It's like 50 miles an hour if you're American, is what it would equal out to. It gets along all right. Like it gets there pretty fast, but that's what it's governed at. You can't go any faster than that. It does have quite a bit. I would think it has quite a bit left in the tank, but you're revving the engine pretty good at that point. Things I don't really like about it, in particular, this windshield's a little bit from Polaris. It's a little bit wobbly and it moves around in the wind and stuff like that. But it's okay, it'll work, but you can definitely tell it keeps flexing and stuff like that when you're riding with it. The machine in general, I do kind of wish I held out for a 900 rather than the 570. Again, it's fairly quick, but it's only limited to 85 kilometers an hour. It gets kind of boring, you reach it pretty quick. And now the XP 900 is standard instead of the 570, so you can get the same, what I paid for this, you could get a 900 in 2017 for the same price I paid for the 570, so that kind of made me a little bit mad, I guess, but what can you do, right? It's still a really nice machine. It's a really nice riding machine. Like, it soaks up bumps pretty good. It has the extra 2 inches of travel over the mid-size 570. You can smash bumps in this thing and it just kind of soaks it right up. You obviously you feel it, but normally you would send you flying out of your seat. This thing it's nice and comfy to ride. There's no doubts about that. This one does have the on demand, like the turf mode over here, and the 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. I normally run with it in turf mode. I've heard some bad things about that, but from what I've seen, it makes it a lot easier to steer, and you're not always grinding, stuff like that when you're turning. So I usually just ride around in turf mode. Leave me a comment if that's a bad thing to do, or if I should. I keep on hearing things about turf mode delete. I don't know really what that is all about. I've never had any problems with mine at all. And I forgot to show the glove box storage. It's not really that much. Overall, it's a pretty nice machine. I don't have any complaints about it. Other than underpowered for the size of it, I would say. I think in the mid-size, the 570 would be perfectly fine, but in something like this, it's a little bit heavier. It has a lot of low-end torque. Like, you can spin the tires and fishtail it and stuff like that, but up top it's just flat. Like there's nothing there. After you get to 85 kilometers an hour, that's all you're getting. The governor kicks in. You're sitting there, you're toast. Another weird problem I've had with mine is the brakes like to squeak when they're first started for some reason. If you touch the brakes after you ride it for just a start, it'll have like a bad squeal to it. I've had it serviced and everything like that, and it doesn't really seem to fix the issue, but it goes away after it's warmed up for some reason. I'm not sure if anybody has experienced that at all. Yeah, other than that, it's an alright machine. It does have its limitations because it is wide. Like if you want to take it on smaller trails, you're better off with the mid-size, because this is quite a big machine. You do have the extra space in there for the third person, and you do have the extra seat belt in there as well for that middle seat. You can, like personally, for a guy my size, 3 of you can fit in there, but it's not comfortable at all to ride too long. If you're just going like transported from like a field up to the house type of thing, 3 people in this would be all right. But on like a long trip, I wouldn't want to stick 3 people in this. In conclusion, it's a pretty good purchase. They are pretty pricey because when you first buy them, they don't come with any of these accessories, and the accessories are crazy expensive too, right? So like the accessories alone that I have on this, probably close to 2,000, 2,500 Canadians what I have in accessories on this, on top of the bike being in around 15 grand. Bike is what I paid for it. So it does add up quite a bit. Like I would imagine that you could get a lot more of the same options through a cheaper bike, like a CF Moto or something like that, or some sort of Chinese brand. But I like this because you get the quality. You know, it's been around for a while. The Ranger, the suspension is really good, and it really exceeds my expectations in the suspension setup this thing has. No complaints about that. But only thing that I wish I had was a little bit more power. If this thing had the 900 in it, it'd be awesome. Another thing I haven't really touched on was the fuel consumption. I really didn't find it that good. Like I could maybe get a couple hours, 3 hours of riding into this thing, and I have to fill it up again. So it's not crazy fuel efficient is what you would think with this over a 900, right? So, but yeah, leave me a comment. I've seen the new Ranger XPs for the 2018s. They look pretty cool. They kind of look like a Can-Am cross with a Polaris, kind of a round front end. Leave a comment if you like this style better. I just want to do this because I know they're going to change the new body style quick, and there's not too many on these 570s at all. But thanks for watching.